Welcome to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, coming to you from the Cargo District Recording Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina, where we discuss the most fascinating topics of life. I'm Tyler Yaw with my co-host, Chris Kellum, and each week we interview a special guest to learn how they acquired their wisdom over a glass of whiskey. So, sit back, pour yourself a glass, and enjoy Whiskey and Wisdom.
Welcome back, everybody. This week, it is gorgeous outside, and we do have two gorgeous ladies in here talking to us about some fun stuff around town. But as per usual, you have my boy, Chris Kellum, constant co-host.
Tyler Yaw.
And we bring on
Aly and Roz.
We're still figuring out how to introduce ourselves.
Who are going to be the future podcasters of Wilmington too. So they're going to be co-hosts, with Roz being the founder of What's Up Wilmington. And then Aly is successful around the port city in her real estate business, but she will be co-host of that podcast as well.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. You guys have like cool backgrounds and everything. We were just discussing before this. Cool. I was like, we were discussing like how easy it is for a guy to walk out and be like, "Oh, hey, you look good." I put a shirt on. And they're like, "Well, I had to curl my hair and straighten it. And I had to put some makeup on, make sure the contour was right."
Oh, yeah. And then when you get that compliment at work, they're like, "Oh, your hair looks really good today." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, I actually washed it."
Right. I'm not on day 5 right now.
You do 5 days between washes?
Yeah, you have to train your hair, but it's a thing. Mm-hmm.
See, there's a lot that goes into being
Yeah, there's so many things.
Yeah.
And so since Chris and I aren't good at planning ahead and stuff like that, that's also why we are working with Sway Creative, just to throw in our marketing teams. So go ahead and check them out too. You've been hearing us talk about them. And they have just upgraded and gone to a subscription model where you can actually go on and get your social media starting to look a little bit better, like we have been doing, and save you some time, just like being a guy and just throwing on a shirt and some jeans. You don't have to worry about curling the hair and everything.
Sounds great.
It is some days.
Mm-hmm.
Ideal.
Well, yes. But this week we are doing something interesting. We have a rye whiskey from Stolen Wolf, which is real fancy. It's from Lancaster County, PA.
Lancaster County.
Is it Lancaster or Lancaster?
Don't say it like that.
It's like top sale.
Yeah.
No, it's topsail.
That's how they know you're not from
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
There you go.
I learned that really quick.
Lancaster.
Lancaster?
Yeah, so there's Lancaster, where I'm from, and then there's Lancaster, which is in Ohio, and Lancaster, which is in California.
Oh, see?
Oh,
Yep, 3 different ways to say the same word from different areas.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like Beaufort and Beaufort.
Who was?
Who says Beaufort?
Oh, no,
There's a
it's
town
in
called
South Carolina.
Beaufort.
Yeah, South Carolina.
I was like, people don't say that.
Yeah, they're two separate places.
Yeah.
I understand that now. I meant like of this one, the North Carolina one.
Oh, no, I was just being silly.
Oh, yeah, I got it now.
But this distillery is in Lidditz, which is also where they do the training for like Rolex watchmakers in the States, which is kind of cool. I like watches. Plug. But it's the straight rye whiskey from them, which is a little different. It's supposed to be bold, brash rye and cinnamon.
All right.
It should greet your nose. And then there's apricot, thyme, and maple syrup.
I get the cinnamon along with just my nose burning.
And it should have some oaky flavors with brown sugar and toasted coconut. A little vanilla and pear on the tongue.
That's a lot of flavors.
I get the coconut.
I know. That's why I read it, so you can be like,
Cheers.
Here,
Cheers.
cheers.
I shouldn't have had that mocha before. I bet I would be able to taste more flavors.
I get the coconut.
I was going to say, I can actually get the coconut out of this one.
It's the aftertaste.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It is a 60% rye bill with a 30% corn and 10% malt. So it's a little bit of a sweeter mash, which I'm not hating on. It's definitely a little bit smoother.
I feel like it's a more summery
Yes.
taste, right?
Yeah.
Good for summer sipping on the porch.
This is what I go through and argue all the time. I'm like, when should I drink this whiskey? Some rye whiskeys, I'm like, if I'm drinking it in the summer, I'm probably having like a hot flash because it's too spicy.
Yeah.
This stuff is good.
It's smooth.
I was going to say, it's much more down your palate style. A little bit sweeter of a rye. That corn in there will do it for you.
It's
Pretty
corn.
light. It's corn.
Sorry about that. We're on a tangent. But tell us a little about yourself. I assume you, Aly, because Roz is like sipping.
Yeah, I am originally from northern New York. I moved to Wilmington about 1.5 years ago. I lived in North Carolina prior, about 8 years ago in Greensboro. Then I moved back home for a little bit, met my husband, and he got a job with GE, so we got relocated down here, which, you know, of course, we were like, man, that sounds horrible.
It could have been Ohio.
Exactly.
Right.
Lancaster.
In Lancaster.
Right.
California.
So, yeah, we've been down here for about 1.5 years. I am a former teacher, but I've been in real estate for about 8 years. And I just really love being involved in the community. And I think our community has so much to offer. There's always, you know, so many different businesses and things going on. So I also am the chapter director for Women's Social Club chapter here in Wilmington, which is how I met Roz. She's one of my ambassadors, and we put together some different events every month just for different women in the area. And a lot of us, I'm sure this is no surprise, but are not from here. So, yeah, I know. But just looking to always like build community. So I think that's why she and I get along so well, even though she's more of a veteran.
I'm pretty sure we met over Instagram.
Yeah, technically.
We're the success story behind making friends on social media.
Yes. I have met quite a few people on Instagram, but then we officially met in person for Social Club. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm obviously married. I have 2 little girls and just looking to build a community in the area. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So Roz.
Yes. You want my life story in 30 seconds?
Ready, go.
Give me your elevator pitch.
My elevator pitch. So I was born in Arkansas. Don't remember any of it. My parents were in the Air Force, but we moved around a lot when I was a kid. So we've lived in West Virginia, Tennessee, a lot of different places in North Carolina, and then eventually ended up in Raleigh, where I went to high school. And then I moved here to come to UNCW because I was a beach bum at heart. Grew up listening to the Beach Boys. I'm like, I'm going to live my life by the beach and not get a real job and wear flip-flops every day. So came here for college to UNCW, fell in love with it. So did my parents. They followed me here. And I was like, okay, well, you know, we can make this work. But just love the town. It was hard to leave. I moved to Raleigh a couple times, moved back to Raleigh a couple times, ended up coming back, built a really great community here, have a lot of friends still from college and you know, worked a lot of corporate jobs here. But I think my true passion is community. Growing up, you know, when you don't live anywhere for very long, you don't have that hometown. I'm making air quotes if you can't see me, but, you know, I have some childhood best friends, but it's hard when you don't have that true community growing up. And so I think that's why I'm so passionate about things like What's Up Wilmington, because I feel like it's a catalyst for a community. There's a lot of folks that reach out to me who have just moved here or have lived here for a long time. And they're like, hey, where do you meet friends? Like, I want to go do stuff, but I don't have anyone to do it with. And so, you know, I've worked a lot of corporate marketing jobs throughout Wilmington. I've been really lucky with those and love where I work. But What's Up Wilmington is more of a passion project. Started when I was working for a local magazine. I got to go to all these really cool events, meet business owners, but what I felt was missing was there was no platform to connect with community over really cool things I knew were happening that weren't covered in traditional media. Those cool like hidden gems and things to do. So that's really what What's Up Wilmington is. It's a way to build community for people to meet each other and to share all the really cool things we know happening out in the community.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's definitely something that's needed in Wilmington as well, too. An old business partner of mine started down a very similar journey of just kind of bringing, it was mostly live music events to the thing. But your Instagram was something that we followed often just because it was the only really real source for that in Wilmington. So I do appreciate everything that you've kind of brought to Wilmington in that way, too. Yeah. And you have an amazing following as well.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, you know, when I started What's Up Wilmington, I never wanted it to be about me. So I never put my face on there. I wasn't like a lifestyle influencer. That just wasn't my jam. I like being behind the camera. So the co-founder is my sister. She's an amazing photographer. So she took a lot of the original photos, but I never wanted to have my face on it. And so I feel like folks connected with that because they didn't feel influenced to do something just based on what I was selling or telling them. But I feel like now the world is changing and folks want to connect with a person. And so, you know, Aly and I are starting to do something really exciting and starting our own podcast, and we're going to put our face out there. And I think it's important to connect to a person behind the brand. So
definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
So you've been doing What's Up Wilmington for a long time. What started you down the path to expand into like podcasts and whatnot?
Yeah, well, I think serendipitously, Aly and I met, and we just kind of vibed from the beginning. We're both go-getters. We both love to do all of the things, and we were both chatting one day.
Enneagram 3.
Yeah, we have the same Enneagram. If anyone's familiar with that, the overachievers.
Yeah.
But I think we just both had a passion for community, and I felt like it was time to take What's Up Wilmington past just the fun things on Instagram, because folks kept reaching out about where to meet people, how to make friends. Just want to learn more than an Instagram story or post could tell. And so I was chatting with Aly about that, and she was like, I want to start a podcast, but I don't want to do all the work myself. And I'm like, funny, I want to start a podcast for What's Up Wilmington. Don't want to do all the work myself.
I also just don't want to sit here and listen to my voice the entire time. Like I'm a conversationalist. Like I would much rather bounce ideas off of someone.
For sure.
And I love to collaborate, and, you know, basically in our everyday life, what we're already doing with Social Club and What's Up Wilmington and things like that, like we're already trying to involve all of these other businesses and business owners and people in the community. And this is just going to be a great way to spread the word and, you know, answer a lot of questions for people, because Roz gets a lot of questions on Instagram of like, what do I do here? Where's the best places? Like that kind of thing. But even myself, like I primarily help people relocate. And once they get here, they're like, now what do I do? Right. And so I'm like still building that relationship with them, but just having a resource like the podcast is really exciting. So,
yeah. And it's kind of cool because we get to talk to folks who are new to Wilmington, who haven't moved here yet, or maybe they have kids that go to UNCW. They want to know more about the town that they visit a couple of times a year, but also people who have lived here for a long, long time that just want to make new friends or go try new things. So I think we want to give that back to the community, and we're really passionate about local businesses. And so just giving them a voice and a platform to share what they're doing. We have some really cool business owners and businesses popping up here. So excited to share that.
That's awesome. Good. Yeah. So my other question is when, sorry, I didn't want to go too far off a tangent. When someone asked like, hey, what should I do in Wilmington here? Is it basically off of like, do you ask them questions like, hey, what do you like to do? Like, what kind of things do you enjoy? Or is it kind of off, oh, this is what's coming up. This is what I enjoy doing. Where do you come up with that knowledge?
I think it's a little of everything. You know, even when I'm asking some of my clients, like I generally work with a lot of families, but obviously not just families, but being someone who has a family of my own, I can tell you from firsthand experience, okay, well, these are the places that I like to go. This is what I like to do. But if you're not vibing with that, like, tell me what you do like to do. I think there's just like so many different options and there's just something for everyone. I was saying that earlier.
Yeah. It's funny. Some of the questions that I get on Instagram, people give a lot of context, which is really cool because I'm like, oh, I didn't know people wanted to know that or are coming for that reason. So it's a lot of women, but actually there's a lot of men that follow us now, I think.
We had the percentage, didn't we?
Yeah. And the percentage is ticking a little bit, I wouldn't say older, but there's a wider range now. So folks will reach out and be like, I'm coming for 2.5 days with my mom and my sister, and my mom doesn't drink, but we want to go to somewhere with live music. Like, what should we do? And so I'm like, wow, that's very specific. I have some things in mind. So I think the folks that ask questions are coming to Wilmington for a specific reason or want to do something specific, and they want to hear it from somebody else. They want to get suggestions. So it's really helpful. Folks give a lot of cool context, and they come here for a lot of cool reasons. And I'm like, oh, I should probably write that down and put that on a blog post.
Definitely.
I like to think about that because me and my wife just went to Charlotte, and it's like I should have looked up something that would have been like this so I could find stuff to do. I mean, we had like 36 hours. It was like, I don't know what we're doing.
I'm sure there's a blog post of 36 hours in Charlotte. What to do in 36 hours.
There's not.
And if there's not.
Now it's going to be out there. I was going to say, I follow like a Charlotte Instagram. There's like a travel family. They blog about it, and they drop all this cool information about Charlotte and things that are happening. And it seems like they have that a lot of different places.
I think that's where the industry's going.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to hear it from the news or a a paid commercial. I want to follow folks who are doing the things and discover it through them. And so Instagram has this really cool feature where you can look at a map of things and pictures people have pinned in certain areas, so you can see what folks are doing in that area and what local businesses are visiting. And so that's what we do. When my husband and I travel, I do it way more than him. He very kindly lets me kind of do my over planning for our trips, and I just scour Instagram and look at all the folks who are there and traveling there, and that's how we find some of our favorite places.
I did that too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm heading down to Charleston this week coming up, and I was doing the same thing because so I got my hotel room, and then it's like, oh, things to do in Charleston, and I was like, okay, I'll click on that, and then it's just like the standard, like
the standard, yeah.
It's like visit the Battery, visit Rainbow Row, like I'm like, okay, wonderful. Like, where are the locals at? What are they doing? Like, what do you do like when you live in Charleston? And so I went to Instagram, I went to TikTok, and I was like scrolling through there. I'm like, oh, this is a really neat place I never would have heard of otherwise. And like, where's everyone hanging out at? You can see like the heat maps of different things and stuff too. So
it's kind of like having a BFF in that town. You're just like, okay, where would you go? Right. Like, I want to know where you would go, not where someone's paying to tell me to go. Essentially, sometimes, but yeah, we found some of our favorite places that way.
Yeah. What do you typically hear from, I guess, not native Wilmingtonians, but people that have been here for a while? What are the typical questions that you get from them?
It's not a question. It's, oh my God, don't tell everyone how awesome Wilmington is.
Don't give away all the secrets.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I put up this Instagram reel about how Wilmington was one of the top places to move to.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, and
they were so mad.
People were like, don't tell everyone. We don't want everyone moving here, which, I mean, I have mixed feelings about because, I also don't want the traffic to get worse. But someone asked a really cool question the other day about, what are some of the big changes that we've seen since a lot of people are coming to Wilmington and moving in. And I'm like, well, some of the bad things are good things too. Like the traffic, we have to keep up with the infrastructure, but also the more people means there's more of a need for like cool restaurants and
better economy
and services.
Yeah.
And we get cooler concert, like there's bigger concert venues. So, I mean, I don't hesitate to share all the things, but the locals are usually like, oh, thanks for showing that spot. Like, I thought I was the only one who knew about it. Or it's a lot of folks who respond and say, yes, I've been going there for years. Like, it's so cool that, like, you know about this place too.
I guess it kind of gives you more credence too, especially for the people that are looking for you. They're like, oh yeah, look at all of this. Like, because I'm sure that's more in the comments, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I get some really cool suggestions from them too.
I think that's
a lot of tips and tricks.
That's the other side that we're excited about with the podcast. Like, it's really going to be like community driven. So like, we're going to base a lot of it off of like the questions and the feedback that she sees on her end through the Instagram, and kind of go from there and answer all of those questions and, give that feedback and tell you about the places that you're asking about.
Also, I'm excited to bring on some of the local business owners who have been here since Mayfair was a cow pasture, and there are some folks that I have in mind, and I can't wait for them to share their stories of like, this is what Wilmington was like 25 years ago. Right. Here's why I opened this business. And it's cool for folks to hear about that who are only in Wilmington, have been here for the past 5 months, and they don't know anything other than what it is now. And so just some of the history of Wilmington and why it is the way it is. That's a cool part to share.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool for the listeners that listen to Whiskey and Wisdom to also listen to you guys too, because you're kind of getting two different aspects of the same location.
Yeah.
And like, that's what we're excited about, because we're seeing like the podcast community just grow in general around here, and just the different aspects that you're seeing from different people and the different communities that they're involved in, and kind of how they all a little bit connect with each other. Yeah. The one thing that I tell people that first move to Wilmington is that Wilmington is the largest small town that I've ever could imagine.
Oh yeah. And that's why I feel like I always try to be kind, especially local businesses and services. If I go in, I don't have a great experience, I don't ever share that on Instagram until I actually approach the business and say like, hey, whatever it is took forever to get my food, and whatever the complaint might be, because I know that sometimes that is their lifeline and that's their business. And so everyone I've met in Wilmington, I know, is super kind and is trying their best. And so I think that's a really good point. And, everyone's connected to everyone, so you can't make enemies in Wilmington.
No.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, it's just not
last year.
You're right.
Yeah.
You'll probably move soon after.
But I think because it is that big, small community, I feel like folks are more understanding and kind to each other too, because we're all in it together, whatever it might be. Definitely has that community vibe.
I mean, even being a newbie, I'd still consider myself a newbie. Like, I've never not felt at home here. Mm-hmm. It's just instantly been home. It's been the people. It's been, the places. It's been the businesses. It's just like everyone here, in my experience, has been super welcoming. And I'm not all that homesick, which is great.
Yeah.
I do wonder about that. Like, are there people that move here and just don't like it? And I feel like some of the few folks I have met who don't like it is because they can't find community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is like what we want to offer. Because I'm sure there's reasons why you would miss wherever you're originally from, right? Whether it be family or whatever. But we want to offer that community sense to people so that, if you're not originally from here, then welcome home.
Yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm. There's actually a woman who I met who moved here in October of last year. And when I was talking to her too, I was like, have you acclimated here? Like, how have you met people? And she was like, it's amazing. I found my people so fast.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
she was like, cool. I found my people, I found my community, and it took no time at all for her to do it. And I was like, that's what I love about this place. Like, if you let someone know that you're new here, probably 9.5 out of 10 people will instantly try to connect you. Like, oh, what do you like? Oh, you need to go meet these people, or oh, you should go hang out in this area. And I think that's what's really neat about this place.
Yeah, that's how it's felt for me. I think since we moved here, it's kind of just all fallen into place. Not just for me, but my whole family, and we've really thrived here. So if people do feel like they're struggling with the transition of moving to a new city and it feels so unknown or maybe too big or whatever it might be, we just want to put out our hand and welcome them in. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever got this question from some of the naysayers of Wilmington, that Wilmington's too small?
Sometimes, and to be honest, sometimes I feel that way. Not that Wilmington's too small, but I wish we had more of certain things. Mm-hmm. I think when I hear it the most is folks coming from those larger cities that have more diversity. There's a lot more cultural things going on, a lot more different types of restaurants, events. And so that's typically when I hear it, is when folks come in from larger cities. And I get it. I totally get it. My mom's Korean and I love Korean food, and I wish there were more Korean restaurants here than just one.
Right.
And so I get it some of the time, but I think that's the exciting part, is those folks are moving here. And I think that they're feeling that call to be like, okay, well, I'll open a restaurant. Or they put the word out. It's like, hey, we need XYZ, which was in my hometown. So, if the right person hears it, they see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the growth down here too, is that you're starting to see those people that are coming down or visited, and they're like, oh, I love it down here, and I noticed they don't have this from my hometown. I'm going to do it. And so that's amazing. That's what I enjoy about the growth part of it.
Yeah. We were just talking about, we were at a picnic at Aly with a bunch of women this morning, and someone's like, there's not a great deli here. And I mean, there's a few, there's two that I love, but I think as more folks from up north move down, there's going to be those folks who do open those crazy good delis that you see up north. So that's the cool part about folks moving in from other parts of the country.
I was thinking there's a lot of New Yorkers that are moving here, and I do not deny that. Which is also really great though, because there's a food truck out there that they have garbage plates from originally from Rochester, right? And I think I saw there's a restaurant of the owners are from New York, and they have chicken riggies, and just you'll see that food coming, and you'll see the culture coming, and it's just it might be a little bit slower, but I definitely feel like it's happening.
Yeah, and I feel like Wilmington's a prime place for small business owners. It's really hard to open a small business regardless, but I feel like in Wilmington there's ways that we make it easier. And I think the community, the first thing my husband said when we moved down here, he's from outside of Asheville. He's like, man, there's not a lot of chain restaurants here, which he was saying is a good thing. Yeah. And I think that's the coolest part about Wilmington sometimes, is we're so small business and local friendly that it makes it a little bit easier for those folks to.
I met this guy from out of town one time, and we were just sitting at a bar and we were just talking back and forth. And he was like, is there a Red Lobster? And I was like, You are at the beach, my friend. I'm like, I can
no
tell
shame
you.
because I loved their cheddar biscuits when I was young. But yeah, I don't.
I was like, I can name
that we never
probably
have one
a
of those
half a
here.
dozen places right now.
So there was a Red Lobster
Oh,
in the 90s, and it
So
failed.
see, hear it from a local
Right.
Yes.
who's
No,
been
it
here for
was.
forever.
And then it just went,
Yeah, no wonder.
Where was it?
I want to say it was on Oleander.
They tried.
Yeah.
They tried to compete.
Oh, there was also like a rib place off Oleander. It was like a chain rib place that does great everywhere else.
Smoked. No.
TGI Fridays.
There was a TGI.
Well, TGI Fridays lasted a long time. We had a Smoky Bones.
And O'Charlie's.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We had a bunch of stuff that worked, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
But because Chris is here to poke the bear and figure out who's the real villain, I want to know, what is your favorite burger joint in town?
Ooh, easy. Grimburger.
Oh.
Very divisive. Very divisive.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That was an easy answer for me.
So in my defense, I'm not mad at the answer because I've never had it. But I was.
What?
Yeah, I know. But the only reason why I made the reaction is because Chris won't stop hounding me about it.
Okay, I literally was saying earlier, I track them down. Like, I find the food truck tracker, and if I'm feeling a burger, I'm
What
like,
do you
where
love
are
about
they?
it?
I don't know. It's just so, like, it has all the flavors. It has the right, like, it's just so good. I will say Mess Hall is up there, too.
I was going to say mess hall.
But they're not open right now, so.
So I am divisive. 1,000%. So I'm from here. Every time my family comes into town, like my in-laws, I'm like, let's go find a burger place.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for some sort of burger joint. But I love Grimburger because they do smash burgers. So they're thin patties.
They're
Skinny,
really
melted
thin,
cheese.
yeah.
But they have good flavor.
Okay.
Like, because you can get a smash
I dig
burger
it.
that's just grease and nothing to it, which I've had before in this town. I'm just like, eh. But my favorite part about Grimburger is the fries.
Oh,
They're so good.
crucial. Gotta have
So
good
good.
Because
fries
like if
with
you
the
have a good burger and then you have fries that have
Amazing
good
fries,
flavor, like they have
Yeah.
that like double crisp taste to them. Like it's just like,
You got to try it.
I'm about to drop a real hot take on a burger.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. Don't quote me on this for the past like 2 years because I haven't had it in about 2 years. But the best burger I've ever had in Wilmington is at Yosaki. And it's
Really?
hot take. It's a Kobe beef burger. I don't know if I was just real hungry or I had been to a few bars before we got there.
That was the
but
difference.
that burger, I still think about it. And I've only had it once. And it was so good.
It was good.
It was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hot
try
take.
it out. So the two places that I think of like actual burger wise, not like smash burger, is Poe's,
Oh,
which is
love it.
originally out of Charleston,
Yeah.
but brought it up here, which was nice. And then Winnie's Tavern.
Winnie's,
I've heard
for
Winnie's
sure.
is like really good.
Winnie's is like a locals level
Yeah.
place.
Anytime you go on the Wilmington Facebook group and somebody asks where to get a good burger,
Winnie's.
Winnie's is usually like 50% of the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people throw out
I feel like
Winnie's.
Winnie's was Grimburger before Grimburger.
Right, yeah.
Maybe.
existed.
Oh, okay, but like
Winnie's-
Winnie's is open, like they have a brick and mortar.
Yes.
Okay.
And,
And
Winnie's
it's like
is-
the size of the studio.
No, it's bigger.
It's
than
bigger than that. It feels like
it
the
ain't
size.
big. We're just saying it ain't
yeah,
big.
Yeah, exactly.
that. It's been around for decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's off like the shipyard. So if it's in the middle of freaking nowhere and they're
it's-
still killing it,
Yeah.
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 you know you're good.
It's kind of like when Satellite
Mm-mm.
popped up. It's like it was out in the middle of nowhere. That was before South Front
Right.
District
Became
was a thing.
Yeah.
And that bar has like a cult following. I mean, I love it, but like it was in the middle of nowhere. So if
Yeah.
it's like that and it's popular, you know it. There's
You
something.
know it's good.
There's
Yeah,
something
when it's a
there.
destination,
Yeah.
you have to plan to make it there.
Yeah.
I'm really sad no one said like Fork and Cork.
I've had their
Fork
burger.
and Cork
It's good.
is good.
I haven't
But
had their
here's my
burger.
thing about Fork and Cork is every time you try to go there, there's like an hour and a half wait, which
tells you something.
is that people are willing to wait an hour and a half for a burger. If I want to eat, I need to eat. Like,
Yeah, we
now.
get hangry.
Yeah. Maybe that's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
I
We're
got a
like-
real slow like ramp up for hunger.
We go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. We're like, okay, we're hungry now.
Yeah.
Feed me.
But
Sounds
have
like my
y'all
wife.
noticed the restaurants around Wilmington? They're starting to not take reservations or call-ins, and I think it's because they get so busy.
Yes.
But yeah, Fork and Cork doesn't take reservations or call-in. I don't think. Don't quote me on that. But like last summer, we tried to go. It was like an hour and a half wait, and my husband goes, I want to know the person who, they said there's an hour and a half wait and they're like, okay, we'll wait. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There's one of them in the room.
I was going to say, well, Chris, I guess.
Here's the thing. I always give every place 2 shots.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because the first time could be amazing. And the second time you're like, oh, that was just luck. Or vice versa.
So it's got to be consistently.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why I give them 2 tries before I even leave them a bad review or a good one. But if there's an hour and a half wait in a space that it makes sense, I will wait. Because Fork and Cork, I can scoot over to a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I can go have a drink somewhere. I can like walk around downtown, get some ice cream, do something.
Do they have like the text? Like
Yes.
that's a game changer in this day and
But
age. Where, like you get a
go,
text.
But you've got to go and like preemptively
Yeah.
want to eat there.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't just be like walk down the road and be like, I want a Fork and Cork burger and and get one.
I'm hungry now. No.
That's 1,000%. Like there's certain places where you're like, oh, I can think about it. And then others that are like, oh, this is spur of the moment. The Fork and Cork is not a spur of the moment.
No.
What's y'all's like favorite new spot that's open lately? Do you have one?
What is your definition of lately?
In the past, since COVID.
Okay.
So since 2020.
So, and then
Fox's Hole in the Wall.
Oh, yeah. They
we
just
just
opened
saw
up.
that place
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so,
Where Crest used to be.
Yep.
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's good.
I love it. Yeah. It's the same owner as Rebellion.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
They did a fantastic
They got
job
a lot of
over
liquor
there.
over there.
They
Yes.
do. Yeah. a lot of
had
whiskey.
Yeah, he was on the podcast.
Yeah, he was on the podcast. But yeah, I went there a couple weeks ago and I was extremely surprised with how good the food was.
Cool.
I was
What kind
expecting
of
to be
food
good
is
anyway.
it? I mean, we passed it the other day or yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
So
All the days blend.
actually, I had a smash burger there and that was pretty darn good. But I heard that they have a chicken sandwich that I guess they're going to start doing a special on Sunday for.
It's literally
Winter-
like it has a
winter-
funky name. Not Winter Chicken Dinner.
Okay.
It's because of Chick-fil-A being closed on Sundays.
Right.
They're like,
I mean, that's amazing because
Yes.
every time I want Chick-fil-A, it's Sunday.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so that's why they're doing it. So
but their meals,
Great
Like
marketing.
that. Yeah.
yeah.
every photo I've seen, it's a big boy plate. Like
Okay.
it's not like, oh, hey, here's a little bit of lettuce, a little meat. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna cut this in half and take 2/3 of it home. Like it's good.
I love
filling
me a
you
good
up.
leftover meal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
sounds good.
So one of the guys next to me actually ordered that chicken sandwich and it was massive. Like it was overflowing over top of like the bun and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh.
The
that's
kind
so
you
good.
need like a fork and a knife to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Sounds
should go
good.
on a Sunday. We'll throw it on the
should.
podcast.
Right.
I mean, if you want to, you can go after this episode. So the question: Are you
Yeah, we're
asking about
Starbucks
food,
sandwiches.
alcohol, or clothing?
Ooh.
All of the above. Any of the
Each.
above.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I'm gonna have to go Grimberger for food because we go so much. Like I went during, like they opened like right after things started like popping off
Yeah.
because G Smith opened a brick and mortar and Ty was like, you should buy that truck. And I was like, nah, I'm good. He did, for real.
I
We
did, yeah.
almost had a food truck. Oh,
That would have been a fun endeavor for you.
the chicken sandwich is called the Sunday Savior.
Sundays.
Oh, God.
Fox's Hole in the Wall.
Love it.
That's what I'm here for.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, but I like Grimberger. They're actually really great, even though they hit only like 3 or 4 places consistently. The owners, Sam, always knows me. I walk up, she's like, "Oh, hey, you want your usual?"
That's so awesome.
That's like
That
the
makes a
best
good
thing
spot.
for like locals. Yeah. I love when I can walk up somewhere and they're just like the usual.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Yep,
please.
that.
That's
When
why
I
I love my coffee spots. And so,
So
I've heard
true.
the same thing. One of my friends says every time we go to Grimberger, we're in the back of the line. The owner flags us down. Is like, hey, I know what you want. Like, I've already started it. I'm like, that's
awesome.
that's how you build. That's how you build a great business.
Yeah.
Well, I
Right?
felt bad because like my wife loves the Grimberger, but she doesn't like caramelized onions. So she takes it off and she puts like, sorry to blow your spot, but she puts like the fried onions, like the onion straws instead. And I've gone up a few times and they've been like, I'm sorry, we're out of the onion straws.
Oh,
They know.
They know.
They know
We're
what
like,
you're
before I
ordering.
order, I'm like, that's how you know it's a good spot.
Yeah.
Let's think. Bars. I mean, it's
We all know what your favorite is.
everyone knows I love the Cargo District.
Yeah.
So come out here. I think all the bars are great around here just because there's so much variety. And I can be like, okay, what do I want today? I can walk over and have just a beer or wine, or I can walk and have a cocktail, some food and cocktail. I can go have like a fancy whiskey drink. So I will just label the cargo district.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
So
that is
We'll
fair.
let that slide.
Especially if you're going to hop.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
We do that a lot too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Wilmington to get cool enough to be like, hey, this district you can walk with a drink in. I'm like,
We were talking about that
Manifest it.
yesterday, too.
They were talking about doing that downtown on Front
Mm-hmm.
Street.
Do we know if that's a thing yet?
I think they're
It's-
still trying.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
there's
it's
a lot
like
of
a very
legalities.
small area they were going to do it in, so it's like you could walk.
It's going to be like a
1
2-block radius or something. Yeah.
But there's only 2 bars in that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh.
It's hard to do here because 16th Street runs right through the middle of the cargo district, and you would need actually an overpass for the people to walk over.
Yeah, true.
Because you don't want people drinking, playing Frogger across 16th
Yeah,
Street.
oh my God.
I mean,
I hadn't thought about
Charleston, or not Charleston, Savannah, you can drink downtown.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were talking
And there's
about
still
that yesterday,
traffic.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They trust their people more than us.
Just
I guess
might
so.
need a
They
bigger
really do.
insurance policy.
Right.
I'm waiting for Cargo District to get like an interactive map because like I feel like there's so many things popping up and I'm like, oh wait, is it in this area? Is it in the other parking lot? Like
What do you mean by interactive
like
map?
You
you
see
know,
at the
I want
mall?
them to have an app where it's like food and it just pings all of the like little food
'Cause
places
it's like a whole-
in Cargo District.
Sounds like our next project.
Yes, I'm going to make an app.
Yeah, manifesting that for
Right?
someone to do.
But I also don't buy clothes. So that's why I was asking if you want to retail because I don't buy anything like that.
How about for you two?
You can go first.
Oh man, I'm gonna need to think about that.
You had time.
I feel like I hop around town so much, but like Cargo District has always been a huge draw for me. Like I love it over here. I think it's so innovative. It's not something that would normally be found like where I'm from
Right.
and thrive the way that it does. Like I feel like it just works. And I feel like the whole community here is just they embrace each other, whether you're a maker or whether you own like a restaurant or whatever it might be. We did a workshop we did one with Bookworm Pottery and then we did one with High Spirits Concrete. And like they all know each other. And like the concrete one, we did it at Alcove and Blue Cup brought coffee
I
and
saw that.
yeah, that was us.
Yeah, it was
and,
so fun.
Okay.
It just makes collaborating so easy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Cargo District is up there for me. Everything within it and everything that comes to it has always been really great.
Oh man, it's so hard to pick a favorite. I don't like to play favorites.
Well-
and I also have my staples that I go
Yeah.
to all the time. And so my husband and I have like we keep talking about putting together a list.
Mm-hmm.
There's like I have a new car and it has like this voice memo app. So like we're driving around and we're like leaving voice memos for ourselves like, oh, visit this and this restaurant we just passed, which we'll never listen back to those. But
Wait,
it's
I
so
actually use
hard.
those when I'm driving though. Like I
Well,
literally
at least
will
there's
like,
a use case for them.
yeah, there's so many when I'm driving, I'm like, oh, I think of all of the random things and I'm like, I can't forget that. But I don't
Right.
have a sticky note because I'm driving or whatever it might be. And so I'll just be like, hey, leave me a memo, like remind me later.
One of the places that I really like, so I'm not a vegan, but the Greenhouse, the
Oh,
restaurant
yeah.
that opened kind of near Wrightsville Beach, I would say their cocktail list is pretty cool. I feel like they're the first ones to really do mocktails in a cool way, and they use like CBD infused stuff in their drinks. And so I feel like you can kind of get the same experience even if you don't drink alcohol. And so I just think there's a lot of passion behind what they're doing, and it's innovative for Wilmington.
She's really knowledgeable about all of it too. Like the owner is very involved and she'll tell you exactly what's in your food and where it came from. A lot of it is because they have the greenhouse there.
Right.
And yeah, that's a really cool place.
Yeah, it's really, and it's owned by a woman, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
We were really close to there. So I always want to get over there, but they're open usually in the afternoons. And I'm like, I always forget
Yeah.
about it.
Definitely check it out.
And then really like, I'm just like a True Blue stan. So like anything they do, True Blue is one of my favorite restaurants. And like, I recently just went to brunch for the first time there on a Saturday or Sunday. I was like, man, if I knew this is what brunch was like, I would be there every
I
weekend.
love a good brunch.
And like they have big plates at brunch. Like it was a lot of food. But it's a cool spot. So I work right across the street from there, and it's I feel like kind of fills the niche for whatever you need. If you just want to drink at the bar, if you want some like little food there, want to meet friends, or like a nice fancy schmancy dinner.
That's where I take a lot of clients and like wholesalers and stuff. Is like just easy. It's a Mayfair, like for me, and just to walk right across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband does the same thing. It's that or Blue Water.
Yeah.
Smart. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is there's going to be an episode on your podcast of like top places to visit.
Oh, top places for sure.
It sounds like we need to do a burger rating. We should just go try a lot of them.
We had talked about doing that for like everything. So burger, pizza, coffee, like a little bit of everything and just kind of have a rating system.
I will not pick a favorite coffee
I cannot pick a favorite either.
I'm not doing that to any of my folk because I love all of them.
But you can give us a favorite.
It depends on what kind of coffee I'm getting that day.
True.
That's fair.
So yeah, that would be hard. So like, and I drink any and all type of coffee. So like if you tell me like, what's your favorite like cold brew, I'm going to tell you one place. Favorite just regular cup of coffee is another latte might be another. Like it really depends for me.
Let's go latte.
So believe it or not, there is a oat milk latte that I love to get from Kellum Crazy.
And so you work over in that area, right? So that makes sense. I feel
and it's really good too. I mean, I've had plenty of like oat milk lattes in different parts of town, but like that one is really good.
I go there a lot. I'm gonna have to try that because I work in that area.
Oh yeah. You know Kelsey back there?
Yeah.
The owner? Yeah.
She's awesome.
So she's the one that got me onto it.
I guess I didn't realize they served coffee
there. Oh yeah. Well, you do now.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill you crazy for not knowing that. Sorry. I don't actually drink coffee like that.
Huh.
I drink.
How refreshing.
You drink caffeine. Yeah. No.
Not really.
What's that like?
So you just wake up and you're just ready for the day.
We have so many questions.
Teach me your ways.
So I saw this meme the other day. It's like those people who have ADHD and just like live through life with nothing. How is it like? I'm like,
we're like that, but with caffeine.
Caffeinated.
I literally, my wife wakes up and like 15 minutes later, because she has to get ready, I'll roll out of bed, blink to get my contacts in place, and then start our coffee, and I'm just rolling.
How amazing.
Wow.
It's painful.
Yeah.
I was also born in the middle of the day, so I always have a crash in the middle of the day. So like I feel like I need a nap.
I was born at night. Wait, you said you were born in the middle of the day?
Is that a thing? Whatever time you're born?
Typically, that's like how those are typically like your
That
rises.
makes sense. I was born in the middle of the day too.
Yeah.
Well, I was born at like 11 p.m. at night, and my coworkers kind of have this ongoing joke about how I love to work out late at night. And they're like, I'm in bed sleeping by the time you're coming home from the gym or you're doing your workout. Yeah. I'm like, that is like my best life is like past
that makes
8 p.m.
sense. I've never heard that before.
Yes. Also why I am a proponent that the world should be done with these stupid 9-to-5 jobs. Because everyone works at different times and works better at different time zones.
Very true.
And that's why I feel like some people are morning workout people and some people are night. I tried to do that whole workout in the morning before work and I crashed by
not me.
noon. And I feel like my strength, like say if I'm trying to squat or lift a large weight, I can lift way less in the morning than I can at night.
Same.
I don't know the science behind that, but it's a thing.
I conserve energy throughout the day. I mean, I'm constantly running on coffee, but without it, I will just stop. But like I just kind of have this steady go throughout the day. Maybe that's why I never have like a burst of energy to go work out.
Yeah, if I have to get one, I'll go to Port City and I'll get a black and tan.
Oh, Java?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, everyone's like, oh, we're doing a coffee run. What do you want? And I'm like, can I have a apple cider? Like a hot apple spice or some tea?
The steamed apple cider at Starbucks is good.
Oh.
Just
Is that like a fall drink?
you can get it anytime, but yeah, that's typically when I get it. Yeah.
Okay, that does sound
Anytime.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try it as a northerner who like really loves cider.
So it's hot apple spice. They're not going to label it as cider.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much just steamed apple juice, and then they put other flavors into it.
I mean, I'm here for that.
So it's good in November and early December.
It's a little dreary outside.
Yes.
Something cozy.
If you need somebody to like label times of the year to do things, I'm the person for you.
Chris doesn't like this, but the mulled apple cider.
Mulled apple cider.
Yeah, over at Bull City.
Ooh.
That was pretty good. They no longer have it because it's the summer. Now they have like
They'll do it in the fall.
Yeah, but they have their frozen stuff over there. That's pretty good too, though.
Yeah, my husband and I, for Valentine's Day, we did like a this or that. So I like chose 2 different places in different parts of town, and he had to pick a card.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah. So we did that for Valentine's Day, and he picked end of days, but Valentine's Day was on a Tuesday, and I didn't plan very well, and they were closed. So we ended up going to Bull City for the first time, but it was really good. I loved it.
It's in a weird spot because it's like on the other side of 17th, so it's not really on the outskirts, but it is. Like I feel like more people will walk to Fermental because it's on the street, you don't have to cross it, versus going over to Bull City. But Bull City also got shot because they opened in July, like the end of July. Yeah. So I feel like it'll pick up more.
It
steam.
will. I miss Fermental.
I know you do.
That was walking distance for me.
Isn't that what just reopened?
Yeah, they reopened in Cargo.
Cool space. Yeah.
But like literally,
but it was in our end of town.
Yes.
It's right down the road from me. Or was.
I've been trying and searching for like well over a year to find a space that's affordable to open up a bottle shop up there.
Ooh.
In Ogden?
Yeah. And it's,
come on up, man.
It's not affordable.
I don't say the affordable part.
Yeah.
Need some backers.
I was going to say, that's hard in Wilmington.
Because Broomtail has the arcade across from you guys. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. But I know how Wilmington is, and you have to cross Market Street. That's a pain.
Well, I will tell you from the people that are on the other side of Market Street, where Fermental used to be, we've got Ogden Tap Room, which is great. It's still walking distance technically for me, but I mean, you let me know whenever.
A couple months ago, I looked and I was like, ooh, if I could buy that Burger King.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm like, yes, I would need a lot of money. But that would be the perfect spot for like a bar and whatnot, because it's already has trees.
Yeah.
You might be able to get the town to help you out with that, though, because I'm sure they don't want that eyesore there either.
Oh, no, Burger King still.
It's still operating.
Yeah. It has a for sale sign on it.
Do people still go to that, though? I never see anyone there.
It's a pain to turn into there.
Everything's a pain to turn into on Market Street in Ogden.
But like now even more with the construction. Like, I
saw the for sale sign. I didn't realize it was still operating.
Yes, it is.
I think it's been for sale since I moved there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what I think is really cool? And I don't know if this is an option in Ogden, but like what Casablanca did and Social Supply did, they turn old houses into commercial space, which is pretty cool.
Casablanca wasn't a house.
It wasn't?
No.
What was it?
It's been multiple things over the years.
I can't even remember a world before Casablanca. But Social Supply definitely did it in both of their spots.
But Casablanca, if it was a house like 30 years ago.
Okay. Well, 30 years ago, they turned it into whatever it is now.
They turned it into a daycare.
It was a daycare?
I do wonder why Wilmington doesn't have more daycares.
It was a daycare and then a veterinarian office.
I remember they posted pictures. Like if you go way back in their Instagram, you can see like the renovations from
It's
them
so
doing
obviously
that.
laid out like a house. Though,
I know.
But like the weird spot is that it's been that same spot and that same configuration for 3 decades. Because I remember going there as an after-school program.
Oh.
What?
And I'm like,
wow,
this is the same.
Like this used
damn,
to be
old.
the toy room.
I am really old. Because I remember the fire department was right beside it.
Yeah.
And then they tore it down and then rebuilt it. But yes, I would love that if we could build one of those.
We'll keep an eye out for you.
I don't think Ogden would let you do that.
We'll manifest it for you.
Yeah, there we go.
I'd be so happy. So, as per usual, I got to ask you a serious question. What does success look like for you for the What's Up Wilmington?
So I can answer that for the podcast because that's our newest exciting adventure. I think for me, what success looks like is one, for us to put out consistently good content that folks are going to engage with and be a catalyst for community building. We don't want to just sit here and interview folks and that's that at the end of the day. We want it to be a way folks connect either with each other over a common interest or with local businesses.
Yeah. And I think selfishly for me too, I really just love connecting with other business owners on a personal level. So being able to bring them in and get to know them better and see how like what I can do to help them grow and see them succeed is important to me as well.
Interesting.
And so we are starting to come up on our time too. So I'll throw out the last question for you guys as well. So if you were to tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Oh, I love this question.
You go first.
It gets better.
I love it.
Yeah. That's always been something that I wish I could tell my younger self is it gets better. Life isn't always the easiest sometimes, but it does get better.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, this is a hard one. I've never really thought about this. If I could tell my younger self anything, is to enjoy every step of the way.
That's good.
I think we get caught up in the day-to-day and stressed about the little things. But when I look back on my life as a whole, there's some really cool stuff that happened. And I think I was lucky enough to enjoy them in the moment. So I think, yeah, that's a good reminder.
Awesome. Good. I love it.
I love to hear that. So we're going to jump back to some fun stuff.
Cool.
Where can people find y'all on social media? Like, you don't got to use your personal stuff, but like.
Well, Roz can be found at What's Up Wilmington.
At What's Up Wilmington on Instagram. Launching a website, www.whatsupwilmington.com.
And then I will also be a part of that. But if you want to find me on Instagram, I am Aly Bleau, ALYYBLEAU, the French way. With
Very fancy.
I know.
Is it on purpose?
I don't know. Ask my husband.
Oh, so it's actually,
Actually,
okay.
name.
Yeah.
That's her actual name.
Yeah. My last name is Blue, but like not like blue cheese though. I don't really know.
No,
I guess I should like study his heritage or something.
Don't worry, I still don't know mine.
Yeah. It's what happens when you take somebody else's name, I guess.
Yeah, true. So definitely check them out on Instagram, social medias. They will have a podcast coming out. If it's out before this episode is, then we will put that in the show notes. And if not, definitely keep an eye out. But yeah, shout out to Cargo District Recording Studios for letting us use the space and burn up so much electricity. But yeah, thank you ladies for coming on.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us. Yeah, this space is super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love it.
Shout out to Cargo District.
Thank you.
Always bringing something.
Yes. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up button.
And hopefully you'll see us on YouTube.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.